What if the path through your garden wasn't just a walkway, but a story told beneath your feet? Today, I'm going to show you 30 of the most unique garden pathway and border ideas you've ever seen. Made from everyday materials like wood, cement, glass, and even things you'd normally throw away. Welcome to Archon Aesthetic Studio, where we turn ordinary waste into extraordinary beauty. This video has timestamps, so feel free to explore your favorite ideas. And if something inspires you, let us know in the comments. We love hearing your creative twists. Maybe to you, I'm just another face on a screen. But behind this content, there's a real story, a real family, and your support helps keep this dream alive. One, cement and bark mosaic stepping stones. Imagine walking barefoot on a pathway that feels like a piece of nature itself. These cement and bark mosaic stepping stones are not just durable, but also bring rustic charm into your garden. To create them, pour cement into flat molds and gently press pieces of tree bark and small pebbles into the surface while the cement is still wet. The key is making sure each stone sits flush with the ground, almost blending into the soil, so every step feels natural and secure. Over time, the bark will age and slowly decompose, leaving behind textured impressions and small drainage gaps that help water soak into the earth. The pebbles add a sparkling touch, catching sunlight like tiny jewels among the moss and grass. This design is not only practical, preventing puddles after rain, but also transforms your backyard into a vintage-style retreat. It's a pathway that welcomes you every day, reminding you that beauty can be crafted from simple, humble materials. Two, glow-in-the-dark glass bottle path border. This garden pathway border turns simple recycled bottles into glowing gems for your backyard. To make it, start by preparing a shallow cement trench along the edge of your walkway. Place the cut bottoms of glass bottles into the wet cement, making sure they are level with the soil so the surface is smooth and safe to walk beside. Press them in firmly so they set securely, with no sharp edges left exposed. During the day, these glass pieces sparkle under the sunlight, creating a rainbow-like effect that shifts as you move. At dusk, you can even place a few glow pebbles or small solar lights underneath to make the glass shimmer in the evening. Over time, the border will feel like a string of glowing jewels framing your garden path. Not only is this design beautiful and unique, but it also gives new life to bottles that might otherwise end up as waste. A small act of creativity transforms them into timeless garden art. Three, rustic ladder-style wood and cement path. Imagine a pathway that feels like walking through a countryside retreat. This rustic ladder-style design combines the strength of cement with the natural beauty of wood. To create it, pour cement in long, narrow strips, leaving equal gaps in between. Place wooden planks into those spaces, making sure each piece sits level with the ground so the entire path feels smooth underfoot. The charm of this pathway is in its evolution. While the cement stays strong, the wood will slowly age, crack, and eventually decompose, leaving behind drainage channels that keep your garden soil healthy and well-watered. Each step feels like a story, with textures of nature meeting the stability of man-made craft. It's simple, practical, and safe, perfect for a backyard where children or guests can walk without worry. Over time, moss, grass, or tiny flowers can grow between the gaps, adding even more vintage character. This pathway doesn't just guide your steps, it becomes a living part of your garden's story. Four, checkerboard cement and pebble pathway. A garden pathway can be more than just practical. It can be a piece of art you walk on every day. This checkerboard design combines the strength of cement with the charm of natural pebbles, creating a playful yet elegant look. To build it, prepare shallow square molds in the ground, making sure they sit flush with the soil so every step is safe and even. Fill alternating squares with cement, smoothing the surface, and the others with river pebbles pressed tightly into place. The result is a striking checkerboard pattern that feels both rustic and timeless. The cement squares give stability, while the pebble sections allow rainwater to drain naturally into the earth. Over time, tiny plants or moss may grow between the joints, softening the pattern and adding vintage character. This pathway is not just about function. It's about creating a space that makes your garden feel like an old-world retreat, where every step feels intentional, beautiful, and connected to nature. Five, cement spiral with glass bottle inserts. This spiral pathway design transforms your garden into a place of wonder. Built entirely flush with the soil, it is both practical and magical. To create it, begin by shaping a spiral trench on the ground, about the width of a stepping path. Pour cement carefully into the trench, smoothing it so the surface remains even with the earth. While the cement is still wet, press in the bottoms of recycled glass bottles, some clear, some painted in colorful shades. The glass will glisten beautifully under the sun, creating a mosaic of light as you walk the spiral path. As time passes, small patches of moss and grass will fill the spaces between the spiral lines, giving it a natural, aged look. This design doesn't just guide your steps, it draws you inward, making a walk in your garden feel like a gentle meditation. It is both rustic and artistic, a pathway that proves even the simplest materials can create something extraordinary. Six, rustic crosscut log stepping stones. There's something timeless about the look of old tree rings, each one telling a story of growth. These rustic crosscut stepping stones capture that charm while offering durability for everyday use. To make them, pour cement into round molds, about the size of a log slice. For added detail, press real cross-sections of logs into the wet cement, leaving behind natural textures. Some pieces can even include actual wood inserts, which will eventually age and break down, forming small drainage gaps. Once set, The stepping stones should be laid flush with the soil so they sit evenly with the ground, making the pathway safe to walk on. Over time, grass and moss may grow between the stones, enhancing their woodland feel. Walking across this pathway feels like stepping into a rustic forest floor, right in your own backyard. It's a simple, affordable project that turns discarded wood into a design element, one that grows more charming as it weathers with time. Seven, vintage zigzag wood and cement borders. Borders are often overlooked, but they can completely change the mood of your garden. This zigzag design blends rustic warmth with solid structure, creating a border that feels artistic yet practical. To make it, dig a shallow trench along the edge of your pathway. Pour cement into alternating angled sections to form the zigzag pattern. Then fill the spaces in between with wooden inserts. Keep the surface flush with the soil so the edge looks seamless and safe to walk beside. Over time, the cement remains strong while the wood slowly decomposes, leaving natural drainage grooves that allow rainwater to return to the earth. The result is a living, evolving border that grows more charming with age. Moss or ground cover plants can sprout along the zigzags, making the design feel even more vintage. It's a border that doesn't just mark your garden. It tells a story of time, nature, and creativity woven together. Eight, cement blocks with glass bottle inserts. Imagine walking a garden path that glitters under the sunlight as if hidden jewels were set into the ground. These cement blocks with glass bottle inserts make that vision a reality. To create them, pour cement into square molds and press the cut bottoms of glass bottles into the surface while it is still wet. Smooth the edges so everything sits level with the cement, ensuring a flat, safe finish. Once cured, the blocks are laid flush with the soil so they become a natural part of the garden floor. As sunlight passes through the glass, it creates sparkling reflections, adding a magical charm to your pathway. This design is both durable and enchanting, combining everyday recycled materials with timeless garden style. Over time, moss or grass can frame each block, making the colors stand out even more. It's a pathway that changes with the light, bringing beauty and sustainability into every step. Nine, wood bark and cement patchwork. Your garden pathway doesn't need to be uniform. It can be a patchwork of textures that tell a story. This design combines cement with bark and pebbles, creating a surface that feels rustic yet artistic. To build it, create flat cement slabs in different sizes, making sure each one will sit flush with the soil when laid down. While the cement is still setting, press bark strips into some slabs, smooth others for contrast, and decorate a few with pebble mosaics. Once dry, arrange them in a patchwork layout, mixing the styles for a unique handmade look. Over time, the bark will naturally weather and decompose, leaving small impressions and drainage points in the cement. The result is a pathway that evolves with the seasons, growing moss and blending with the garden around it. Every step feels different, smooth here, textured there, just like a quilt made from natural elements. It's a simple way to make your garden feel like a rustic masterpiece, stitched together from nature and creativity. Ten. Cement river with wooden bridges. This garden pathway turns an ordinary walk into the feeling of crossing a gentle river. The design begins with a curving strip of cement poured directly into the ground, shaped to mimic the flow of water. While it's still wet, smooth the surface so it lies flush with the soil, making it safe to walk across. Then place short wooden planks across the path at intervals, like tiny bridges over the river. The wood adds rustic warmth and charm, but with time, it will weather and decay, leaving slim drainage gaps that allow rainwater to return to the earth. Pebbles along the edges complete the look, resembling a natural riverbank. This design is more than a path, it's an experience. Each step feels like a crossing, reminding you of nature's flow and the beauty of impermanence. It's practical, sturdy, and at the same time deeply artistic, a pathway that feels alive within the heart of your garden. (11) Transparent bottle pebble wells. Imagine walking across a path where every step reveals a hidden gem beneath your feet. These transparent bottle pebble wells are a beautiful way to recycle glass and bring color to your garden. To create them, start by cutting the bottoms of clear glass bottles and smoothing the edges. Pour cement into shallow round molds, and while it's still wet, press the glass bottoms into the surface so they sit level with the cement. Fill the hollow spaces beneath with colorful pebbles, so when sunlight strikes, they glow like miniature crystal ponds. Once cured, set the discs flush with the soil to keep the path even and safe for walking. Over time, rainwater and light will play with the glass and stones, making the pathway shimmer with natural beauty. This design is both eco-friendly and artistic, an idea that transforms ordinary bottles into sparkling treasures right in your backyard. It's a reminder that even the simplest discarded objects can hold light and wonder when given a new purpose. (12) Rustic wooden grid path. This rustic wooden grid pathway is a design that combines structure with natural charm. To make it, pour cement in a grid layout, squares or rectangles that form a pattern across your path. While the cement is still wet, set wooden slats into each square, making sure the entire surface is level with the soil so walking feels smooth and safe. The cement provides durability, while the wood adds rustic warmth and texture. As time passes, the wood will age and eventually decompose, leaving small gaps that naturally drain water back into the soil. This makes the pathway both eco-friendly and functional. Grass, moss, or even tiny flowers may sprout in the gaps, softening the grid and giving it an aged, vintage look. Each step across the pathway feels like stepping on a crafted piece of art, structured yet alive. It's a perfect design for those who want their garden to tell a story of time, change, and beauty in the simplest of ways. (13) wood bark and zip-lock resin inserts. Sometimes, the most unique garden ideas come from unexpected materials. This design uses wood bark and sealed zip-lock inserts filled with colorful resin to create a pathway unlike any other. To build it, pour flat cement slabs that sit level with the soil, making them safe and smooth underfoot. While the cement is still soft, press bark strips into the edges to form rustic frames. In the center, embed clear zip locks filled with resin or even colored sand. Once the cement sets, the inserts remain sealed, creating colorful windows that glow under the sunlight. The bark gives a natural, vintage touch, while the resin adds a playful sparkle. As the bark ages and weathers, it will leave behind subtle drainage textures, making the path not only beautiful but also practical. Each step across this pathway feels like walking over art, simple, surprising, and sustainable. It's a design that shows how everyday objects, even something as ordinary as a Ziploc bag, can become part of a creative garden story. (14) Bottle cement spiral mosaic. This spiral mosaic pathway is like walking across a piece of art that's alive under your feet. The design combines cement strength with recycled bottle beauty, turning ordinary glass into a radiant spiral. To create it, mark out a spiral design on the soil and pour cement along the shape, making sure the surface sits completely level with the ground. Before the cement hardens, press in the cut bottoms of glass bottles, arranging them in a spiral pattern. Use a mix of colors, green, blue, amber, for variety, and fill small gaps with smooth pebbles for texture. Once cured, the path feels solid underfoot, with glass inserts that sparkle when the sun shines. Over time, moss or grass may grow along the spiral edges, adding to the vintage feel. This design is not just functional but captivating. Each step feels like following a glowing trail. It's proof that recycling can be magical, and that pathways can become the centerpiece of a garden, guiding you with light and beauty. (15) Rustic wooden plank and cement ladder. This rustic ladder-style pathway is a design that feels simple yet full of character. To make it, dig shallow parallel trenches in the soil and pour cement into alternating strips, leaving equal gaps between them. Into those spaces, place flat wooden planks so the surface becomes level and smooth, sitting flush with the earth. The cement provides lasting durability, while the wood introduces a natural, vintage charm. As seasons pass, the wood will slowly weather and break down, creating narrow channels for water drainage. These gaps invite moss or ground cover plants to grow, softening the lines and adding beauty with time. The result is a pathway that feels alive, sturdy where it needs to be, yet ever-changing as nature weaves into the design. Walking across it is like stepping on a piece of rustic craftsmanship, practical for everyday use and full of old-world charm. It's the kind of pathway that makes your backyard feel both handmade and timeless. (16) Wood pebble sandwich pathway. This wood pebble sandwich pathway is a design that combines strength, beauty, and function in one. To create it, prepare shallow trenches in the ground, then pour cement into wide strips that form the main foundation. Between these cement sections, lay down rustic wood strips side by side, and then add a layer of river pebbles. Make sure the entire surface is installed flush with the soil so it feels natural and safe when walked on. The cement ensures durability, while the wood adds warmth and character, and the pebbles bring texture and natural charm. Over time, the wooden layers will slowly break down, leaving the pebbles exposed and forming natural drainage lines. The pathway becomes more beautiful as moss, grass, or small flowers creep between the stones, softening the look and blending it with the garden. This design feels handcrafted and vintage, like something from a countryside retreat. It's not just a walkway, it's a statement piece that shows how simple materials can create timeless beauty under your feet. (17) Vintage brick and wood patch mix. This vintage brick and wood pathway feels like something you'd find in an old countryside estate, full of charm and character. To create it, prepare a level trench in the soil and arrange alternating cement bricks and wooden blocks in a repeating pattern. Ensure that each piece sits flush with the soil, so the surface feels smooth, natural, and safe underfoot. The cement bricks provide strength and structure, while the wooden blocks add warmth and rustic appeal. Over time, the wood will weather and eventually decompose, leaving behind subtle drainage lines that help water soak into the ground. This evolving feature makes the path feel alive, changing with the seasons as moss and grass creep into the small spaces. The mix of durable cement and temporary wood creates a balance between permanence and transformation. Every step across this pathway reminds you that gardens aren't just designed. They grow, change, and age gracefully, just like the materials that build them. It's a design that's as practical as it is poetic. (18) Cement with bottle cap inlays. Who would have thought that simple bottle caps could become a work of art under your feet? This design transforms discarded caps into colorful mosaics, turning a plain cement pathway into something joyful and full of character. To build it, pour flat cement slabs directly into the soil, keeping them level with the ground so they sit flush and safe for walking. While the cement is still wet, press in bottle caps to create patterns, random scatterings, spirals, or even geometric designs. Use a mix of metal and plastic caps, painting some in bold colors to give the pathway a playful pop of brightness. Once set, the caps become locked into the cement, forming a strong and lasting surface. Over time, moss or grass may grow around the slabs, softening the look and giving it a vintage garden feel. This pathway is eco-friendly, durable, and above all, fun. A reminder that beauty can come from the most unexpected everyday objects. (19) Transparent bottle cluster wells. This pathway design turns recycled bottles into something magical. Clusters of glass that shine under the sun like hidden jewels in your garden. To make it, Pour cement slabs directly into shallow molds, keeping them perfectly flush with the soil for smooth, safe walking. While the cement is still wet, arrange groups of glass bottle bottoms together in circular or oval shapes, pressing them securely into the surface. When the cement hardens, these clusters create sparkling wells that catch sunlight during the day, adding a touch of wonder to every step you take. You can even choose colored bottles for a mosaic effect, or clear glass filled beneath with decorative stones for added depth. Over time, moss and grass will frame each cluster, softening the design and giving it a vintage, enchanted feel. This project is not only beautiful but sustainable, proving that recycling can add both charm and character to your garden. It's a pathway that feels like a secret waiting to be discovered. (20) Rustic tree bark cement frames. This design transforms simple cement into something rustic and artistic by adding the texture of natural bark. To create it, pour cement into shallow rectangular molds that will sit level with the soil once installed. While the cement is still soft, press strips of tree bark into the edges so they form a natural frame around each slab. When the cement hardens, the bark becomes part of the design, blending the solid durability of cement with the warmth of wood. Over time, the bark will begin to weather and eventually decompose, leaving behind textured impressions and small drainage lines that allow rainwater to seep back into the earth. The slabs remain strong, but the design evolves naturally, growing more vintage in appearance with every season. Moss, grass, or tiny flowers may sprout around the frames, making the path feel alive. This rustic border idea brings both structure and organic beauty to your garden, reminding you that nature and craft can work hand in hand. (21) Wood and cement checker pathway. A pathway can be more than just a way to walk. It can be a playful pattern that makes your garden feel like a storybook. This checker pathway combines the durability of cement with the rustic beauty of wood. To make it, mark out square spaces in your soil, then pour cement into alternating sections, keeping the surfaces level with the ground. Into the empty spaces, place wooden blocks, so the pattern alternates between smooth cement and textured wood. The entire design should sit flush with the soil, ensuring a safe and natural walking surface. Over time, the wooden sections will weather and eventually decompose, leaving soft drainage points in their place, while the cement squares stay firm. Grass or moss may grow in the empty spaces, softening the checker pattern with a vintage touch. The result is a garden pathway that is both functional and artistic, turning each step into a little surprise. It's a design that shows how balance between man-made strength and natural change can create timeless beauty. (22) Zip-lock sand pockets. This design takes something as ordinary as a Ziploc bag and turns it into a unique feature for your garden. By sealing colorful sand inside the pockets and embedding them into cement slabs, you can create a pathway that sparkles with surprising color. To build it, pour cement into flat molds that will sit flush with the soil once installed. Before the cement sets, Place clear Ziploc bags filled with sand or fine gravel inside small recessed spaces. Make sure they are sealed tightly and pressed just below the surface, so they remain smooth and safe underfoot. Once hardened, the pockets look like little windows of color in your pathway. The sand catches the sunlight, glowing softly in warm and cool tones throughout the day. Over time, the cement provides strength, while the colorful inserts add personality and charm. This playful design shows that even everyday household items can be transformed into art when creativity guides the process. '23. Rustic driftwood and cement riverbed path. This design captures the feeling of a river flowing gently through your backyard. The rustic driftwood and cement riverbed path combines natural beauty with sturdy craftsmanship. To build it, dig a winding trench across your garden and pour cement into strips shaped like flowing water. Make sure the cement lies flush with the soil so the path is smooth and safe. Between these strips, set pieces of driftwood into place, their organic shapes adding warmth and texture. While the wood gives charm now, it will eventually decompose, creating natural drainage spaces. To finish the look, scatter smooth river pebbles into the gaps, enhancing the illusion of a stream. Over time, moss or small plants may grow among the stones, making the path feel even more alive. Walking across this pathway feels like stepping along a woodland riverbed, serene, rustic, and artistic. It's a design that proves pathways can be more than functional. They can tell a story of nature flowing through your garden. '24. Bottleneck drainage wells. This design takes the simple idea of recycling bottles and transforms it into something both beautiful and functional. By embedding bottles upside down in cement, you create drainage wells that keep your garden soil healthy while also adding a unique artistic touch to your pathway. To make it, pour cement into flat slabs that will sit level with the soil. Before the cement sets, press bottles into the surface with the necks pointing down into the earth. Once hardened, the bottles stay secure, with their flat bottoms exposed like colorful windows in the pathway. These bottlenecks act as tiny drainage channels, letting rainwater flow into the ground instead of pooling. The glass adds sparkle under the sunlight, while the recycled nature of the design makes it eco-friendly. Over time, moss and grass may frame the glass circles, softening the look with a vintage touch. This pathway idea is not only safe and durable, but it also proves that discarded bottles can become both practical and beautiful in the heart of your garden. '25. Vintage log and cement spiral steps. This spiral step design feels like something out of an enchanted garden, guiding you in a graceful swirl across your backyard. To create it, mark out a spiral pattern on the soil and pour cement into shallow molds that follow the curve. Set the slabs level with the ground so they lie flush with the soil, creating a smooth and safe walking surface. Before the cement hardens, press slices of logs into the surface, giving each step a rustic, vintage appearance. Over time, the wood will weather and break down, leaving behind textured rings and small drainage channels. The cement spiral remains strong, while the natural changes add character and depth. Moss, grass, or flowers may grow along the spiral, softening the edges and enhancing the design's old-world charm. Walking this pathway feels like following a story, each step pulling you further along the spiral. It's more than a functional path, it's a living piece of art, evolving with the seasons of your garden. '26. Rustic cement pebble and wood medallions. A pathway doesn't always have to follow straight lines. Sometimes, circles can tell a more poetic story. These rustic medallions combine cement, wood, and pebbles into stepping stones that look like works of art scattered across the ground. To create them, pour cement into circular molds that will later sit flush with the soil, making each medallion safe and smooth underfoot. While the cement is still soft, press in wooden slices, strips of bark, or arrange pebbles into patterns like sunbursts or spirals. Each medallion becomes unique, like a signature piece of rustic garden art. Once hardened, place the discs into the soil so they form a connected path or a series of scattered stepping stones. Over time, the wooden elements will weather and break down, leaving behind impressions and natural drainage. Moss and grass may creep around the circles, giving them an aged, storybook feel. Walking across this path feels like stepping from one piece of handmade art to another, a journey as beautiful as the destination. '27. Colorful painted scrap metal path edges. This design proves that even discarded metal can be reborn into something full of beauty and joy. By embedding painted scrap metal pieces into cement edging, you can frame your garden pathway with bursts of color that feel both artistic and sustainable. To create it, prepare shallow cement borders that will sit level with the soil so the edges are safe and smooth. While the cement is still soft, press in scrap metal shapes, flat washes, cut plates, or small decorative pieces. Before embedding, polish and paint them in bright, weather-resistant colors to add vibrancy. Once the cement hardens, the pieces become permanent accents, sparkling like handmade jewelry along the edge of your garden path. Over time, moss or grass will grow around the cement, softening the look and making the colors stand out even more. The result is a pathway that feels lively, creative, and unique, one that tells the story of recycling not just as necessity, but as art. It's a bold statement that turns waste into wonder. '28. Rustic log and cement checker path. This rustic checker pathway is like a dance between strength and nature. The design alternates cement squares with cross-cut logs, creating a pattern that feels both structured and organic. To build it, mark out checkerboard squares directly into the soil, keeping everything level so the finished path sits flush with the ground. Pour cement into alternating sections, smoothing the surfaces, and place log slices into the others while leaving them even with the soil. The cement provides long-lasting durability, while the wooden discs add warmth and rustic charm. Over time, the wood will break down, leaving behind natural drainage gaps that keep your garden healthy. The impressions and textures remain as a reminder of the tree's story, while moss or grass can slowly creep in, softening the design. This pathway is more than just functional. It's a conversation between man-made stability and the beauty of natural change. Every step feels like walking across a timeless pattern that evolves with each season. '29. Cement and bark garden gate edge. Every garden deserves an entrance that feels like a story begins the moment you step inside. This cement and bark garden gate edge is designed to frame your pathway like a natural threshold. To create it, pour cement slabs for the entryway, setting them level with the soil so the surface feels smooth and safe. While the cement is still wet, press bark strips along the sides, forming rustic frames around each piece. Once hardened, the slabs look like natural wood-framed stones, durable yet full of charm. As the bark weathers and slowly decomposes, it leaves textured lines and subtle drainage spaces, giving the entryway an evolving vintage character. Moss and small flowers may grow around the edges, softening the look and making the threshold feel alive. This design is more than just a border, it's a welcome mat made from earth itself. Each step through this garden gate reminds you that creativity can turn even the simplest materials into something poetic. '30. Rustic driftwood and glow pebble mix border. This design blends rustic charm with a touch of magic. By combining driftwood with glow-in-the-dark pebbles, the pathway border becomes something that looks beautiful both day and night. To build it, pour shallow cement borders along the edge of your pathway, keeping them level with the soil so they sit flush and safe. While the cement is still soft, press pieces of driftwood into place, letting their natural shapes add texture and warmth. Between the wood, scatter glow pebbles across the surface. In daylight, the pebbles catch sunlight like tiny jewels, while at night they glow gently, guiding your steps with a dreamy ambience. Over time, the driftwood will weather and break down, leaving behind soft drainage spaces, while the cement and glow pebbles remain strong and shining. Moss or grass can creep in around the edges, making the design feel aged and natural. This pathway border isn't just practical, it's enchanting, turning every walk through your garden into a magical experience. And that's our journey through 30 DIY garden pathway and border ideas that transform ordinary materials into something magical. I hope at least one of these designs sparked an idea you can bring to life in your own backyard. Which pathway spoke to you the most? Share your thoughts or your own creations in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. If you found inspiration today, please like, subscribe, and share this video with others who dream of creating beautiful spaces. Every click helps keep this channel growing, and every bit of support means the world. Thank you for being here, and thank you for seeing me.